What happens if the largest land animal that ever lived, Argentinosaurus, suddenly drops into modern South America, waking up on a continent that forgot it almost 100 million years ago? Right now, out on the plains of Patagonia, the air starts to bend, like something just cut a seam in the world, and out of it steps a titanosaur, more than 40 meters long, over 130 feet, 94 tons, still steaming with the heat of a world 100 million years gone. It lifts its head and looks around at a planet it doesn't recognize at all. Its first breath comes fast and shallow. The air is thinner here, drier, colder than the wet heat its body was built for, but it doesn't choke, because inside that chest is a system birds still run today. Air sacs feed through hollow, air-filled bones, driving a one-way current through the lungs, so every single breath does the work of two. And those same hollowed-out vertebrae, bones scooped out and packed with air, are exactly what let it raise a head the size of a horse more than 10 meters into the sky. It's basically a crane built out of air, and that reach is the only thing keeping it alive here, because the ground is a trap. The pampas is an ocean of grass, and grass is new. Grasslands like this barely existed in its day, and they give it nothing. So, it does the one thing it was born to do. It reaches over the grass, up to the trees, strips a eucalyptus bare in 3 bites, and moves on, still hungry. Then the sun goes down, and the real enemy shows up. Cold. A body this size is a furnace that takes days to heat up and days to cool down. In the afternoon, that's a gift. It never overheats, never freezes at noon, but a cold night on the pampas pulls the heat out of it hour by hour, and there's nothing out here to refuel a furnace this big fast enough. It can't shiver itself warm the way a mammal can. All it can do is ride out the night on whatever heat is left inside it, and even the way it rests is nothing like us. Most scientists think a giant sauropod like this never lay down to sleep at all. For a body pushing 100 tons, just standing back up would cost enormous effort, and lying down risks crushing its own organs under its own weight. So, it spends the whole night on its feet, neck lowered and loose, waiting the cold out where it stands. By sunrise, it's already made a decision. Go north, toward warmth it can feel, but can't yet see. Day 2, sunlight on the grass, the whole plain lit up gold. It's working its way north, picking at the few scattered trees. When the grass moves, lions come out of it. They're not native to this land. This pride was released here years ago from a private wildlife reserve nearby. And they read this animal the way they read everything else, as legs. And legs mean a meal. Lean, coordinated, fearless. They go straight for the tendons in the hind limbs. They've just never hunted anything that carries a weapon in its tail. The attack comes in low, but a titanosaur's tail isn't decoration. It's meters of muscle and bone swung by nearly 100 tons of animal. It doesn't have to be fast. It only has to be heavy. One sweep, and the lions at the front go flying like the grass they were hiding in. 2 of them never get up. The rest peel back into the brush. It wins, but it wins alone, and that's the crack in the armor. In its own world, it was never by itself. The herd was the wall. The young stayed in the middle. Now, there's no wall. There's just one enormous animal, and everything smaller out here has started to watch it. The nights keep biting, so it keeps heading north, chasing a warmth it can feel in its bones, until the grass finally gives way to something greener, wetter, older, the edge of the jungle. And here, the heat is right, almost like home, so it lets its guard down. That's the mistake. Somewhere down in the leaf litter, a Brazilian wandering spider, a couple grams of animal carrying one of the most potent venoms on Earth, drives its fangs into the soft skin just above the foot. That venom can put a grown man on the floor. Against nearly 100 tons, it's a rumor. A dose that terrifies a human just vanishes inside an animal that weighs as much as a passenger jet. The giant doesn't even flinch. It walks on. The venom was never the danger. The wound is. Because this jungle is full of bacteria its body has never met. Microbes 100 million years newer than anything it evolved to fight off. The puncture stays open in the wet heat, and it starts to turn. A few hours later, a fever climbs. And for an animal whose heart already has to shove blood several meters straight up to reach its brain, a fever makes that climb even harder. And for the first time, the world tips sideways. It's been watched this whole time. A jaguar has shadowed it since the tree line, silent, patient, waiting for exactly this moment. The second the giant sways, it strikes. 100 kilos of muscle onto a stumbling mountain, claws and teeth into the wounded leg. It's fast fast, it's precise. Everything the giant is not. But sick or not, nearly 100 tons is still nearly 100 tons. The huge body twists. A foot the size of a table slams down. And in a single second, the jaguar does the math, turns, and melts back into the green, untouched. It survives by knowing exactly when to quit. Now instinct drags the giant toward water, to break the fever, to pack cool mud into the wound, the way its kind always wallowed. It finds a black river and lowers its head to drink. The river answers. Half a ton of black caiman explodes out of the shallows and clamps down on its lower jaw. The ambush that works on everything else that ever drinks here. Everything except this. The giant hauls its head straight up, lifting the caiman clear out of the water, and drives its full weight down through one front leg. The strongest bite in the entire river ends under a single step. It doesn't outfight the caiman, it outweighs it by almost 200 to 1. Day 8. The jungle thins out, and its foot comes down on something that never existed in any world it has ever known. Warm, black, flat, a road. A car rounds the bend and stops dead. Phones go up. Within 2 hours, the footage is everywhere on the planet, and the sky fills with the one predator it can't sweep away. Helicopters, circling, broadcasting it live to millions. And this is where the collision of two eras turns strangely in its favor. It's too valuable to kill, and too public to hide. So instead of hunting it, people herd it. Barriers go up across the ground. Trucks and lights and crews form a corridor, all of it bending toward one place. The enormous water and reeds of the Iberra wetlands. The largest animal in the history of the continent walks down a path built by the smallest, wounded, watched by the entire world, toward the one door still open to it. It reaches the water at dusk and stops. The fever will break here. The mud will close the wound. The reeds will finally hide a body that could no longer be hidden. And slowly, the wetland rearranges itself around it. The caimans give ground. The deer reroute their trails. The birds learn a new shadow overhead. 100 million years ago, this land belonged to it. 100 million years later, it came back a trespasser and found the land had never locked the door. And maybe that too is its own kind of coming home.